is up? Welcome to 506. I'm your host, Stefan. And I hope you enjoy your stay.
I'm a little shy, but I know you know.
Alright, so it is 4:39 on a Saturday, and we're pretty fucked up.
Both very, very, very fucked up.
Okay, but Royal Prince is a up-and-coming DJ who I personally feel is a lot better than most of the bars and clubs that I've gone to. And I mean, I don't say that lightly, it's just because, I mean,
Because I'm here.
yeah, not just because you're here, but like,
Thank you.
actually, I feel like you're very talented at what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I mean, like, this is just very casual, literally.
Yeah. No, it's like interesting because like for the DJing stuff, like it's weird because it's not that I'm making like a new style of DJing, but like I'm doing things that a lot of DJs don't do and they don't think about. So it's like it's fun. It's fun to like experiment and try different sounds and work. I need to really speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hit the fucking red zone with that, yeah.
Yo. Oh, that's it. Okay, so it's very interesting when you're a DJ because you have to be unique in such a limited way. Because again, most DJs, the only thing they use is DJ equipment. You know, they don't know guitar, they don't know how to play. I mean, they may know, but they're it's not like most DJs don't know instruments, and it kind of takes away from the live aspect. So like when I try to do live stuff, like DJ stuff, I try to be pretty original with that. But also I'm thinking like bringing like a drum pad to like if I do like a Saints of Valencia show ever. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just like shamelessly plug that in, but
Yeah.
no, it's all good. So Royal Prince also has his own personal work. Check out SoundCloud Saints of Valencia. Yeah,
Saints of Valencia.
Saints of Valencia.
It's the only Saints of Valencia there. There's only one there, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, I'll link it afterwards. But
It kind of blew up a little bit. It kind of blew up a little bit, that SoundCloud. I did one Flume mashup. It got a decent amount because it was like my first thing. And the second song, which wasn't even it's my first little favorite, but it's not my most well received, got like 1,000 within like a few days. And I was like, oh, damn.
Shit.
And then I put a third one last October, and that blew up like immediately because likes and plays does not matter, but when you go into what playlist this is included in the song, if you see two random bot profilers put that in the playlist, that feels way worse than seeing like tastemakers from around the world like reposting your shit. Like I got reposted by some like Sweden like radio show like, and like they have like a good 1,000 followers and they're only following like one person. They get like, and all the songs that they repost are like way bigger than mine, and then you just see my Pewdie song right there, but like it made the cut.
It made the cut.
But yeah, that blew up, and then because of the traction on that, everyone was like, "Oh, what's this Flume mashup that you did?" Because everyone loves Flume, right? So that was a blew up too. So I have two songs, and then I released one in January. It was I will admit it was a little more lazy, and that one was definitely not well received. So working on the new music and the I still have a couple edits and stuff like that out there ready. But yeah, we're gonna talk about marketing.
Oh, I mean, it's really whatever. I mean, I just want to ask because like I don't know jack shit about DJing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, can you give like a basic rundown what it's kind of like, what kind of like equipment you deal with, and
Okay, yeah. Okay, so one thing that's also bothering me recently is that people who think that they produce dubstep and then they get a stage and they just play dubstep for an hour, even if they're on DJ equipment, they're not DJs. DJs are people who play and mix music perfectly with each other to match the mood of the audience. It's not that an audience comes to pay you money to see you play through DJ equipment. That's the difference between DJs and producers, and DJs and artists at least. So with the artists, right, they'll actually work on like, you know, they'll work on the music a lot more, but they're not very keen on knowing what's best to play at like a regular gig or something like that, and they fail. what was that, at the same party at your that you hosted. Some girls came up and they're just like, yeah, whenever we get these, they're all like these dubstep DJs. Like, there's no like real DJs. And I was like, insert me here. And then yeah, so then like that just kind of shows like, it's really sick when like some dubstep DJ I know like says like, oh yeah, like I'm about to like hit 1,000 plays. I'm going to do like a live DJ set, and I'm like, you're not DJing, bro. You're just performing live, okay? You don't use DJ equipment. Like, if you're gonna like perform live, do something like interesting. Like I said, I want to do drum pads. Not completely. I was gonna do a mix of like a DJ controller and drum pads, but for the most part, like yeah, like just like it's just that difference is just so fucking annoying. So like DJs, to put in perspective, DJs, they're able to mix and blend music using DJ equipment to the taste of the audience. So that's a DJ. Now, producer slash artist is someone who makes music to play in their own special way, and the audience pays to see them. And most of these producers play as a DJ set. So um, that's the difference. So I want to get that out of the way because that's a super important thing. Now, when you're the life of a DJ is it is very competitive because everyone's trying to get as many gigs as possible, and so but the thing is it's all based off word of mouth. So the more people you get to let's see, like at the beginning, the biggest jump is getting your first official gig, because like you're going from technically bedroom DJ, which is a lot of people what they try to be in this world, like a good amount, especially since EDM blew up. That jump between bedroom DJ to your first gig. Now, the word of mouth, if you do a good job, word of mouth will spread. And like there's some other things that you can like some of the professions or careers where it's like if you make a small mistake, yeah, you could like you may get fired, but or you just might get suspended or something like that. It's a death wish if a DJ makes a mistake. It is because like I said, word of mouth. They said, oh, this DJ, he did this really bad technique. People get a bad day about DJing, and then once you have a reputation on you, it's fucked. So when I'm doing my DJ stuff, I haven't actually like I'm not a weekly DJ, but I pick and I prepare for each gig very individually. So, like I said, in the coming weeks, I might be doing a bar gig, and then I might be doing a gig for a color run for the Indian holiday Holi. So I have that. If I get the first bar gig, that'll be in the difference of 2 days, and I'll prepare. I won't be playing sets from Friday night all the way until Sunday afternoon. No, I'm gonna be working on my individual playlist for each one. And the one I did for your party, that was a playlist I made just before because that's what I thought would work. And not gonna lie, a lot of it did work.
Yeah, I know. I definitely remember that when. Wow, I'm way fucking louder than you.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely remember like just before, like you were texting me like, oh, what's the vibe? Like, is this more of a rave or more like hip hop or like just like top 100 hits
Yeah.
of whatever's on the radio? And I was like, yeah, just do what people like in general because I had no idea what the crowd was gonna be
Yeah.
like. But no, it was great. Like literally, people afterwards were asking me like, "Who the fuck was that? Like, can we hire them for like our like prom and shit like that?" Like,
Yeah.
so I mean,
I'm friends with them on Facebook. Molly, I'm friends with her on Facebook.
yeah, name dropping Molly. But
I'm taking.
but it's all good.
I'm taking M.
Yeah, it's all good.
For medicine because I was actually sick earlier this week, so.
But yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I'm very glad because I mean, just like even with me, like for sure, like word of mouth is definitely the way to go. And I definitely feel it's appropriate for you to actually get the recognition you deserve because, like I said, you're way better than the people that I've heard at bars. And sometimes it's just like literally what we just said like 10 minutes ago, how they like transition from like Sweet Caroline to like a P Diddy song, and the beats don't match up, and it just sounds like very loppy and is.
It's a mess. It's like I said, like it'd be DJ. If you're a really good DJ, you'll take over. What the town that I'm from, Sharon, Massachusetts, which our mutual friend, I was in his graduating class, and that town was super Jewish, right? Like that was the religion of that town, it's Jewish. But I was because my neighbors they're very social and they're of course a Jewish family. They told me, Neil, if you if you get get a gig at one bar mitzvah, that means you can get every single other one, especially if you do it right. Word of mouth is so important. You can have the fanciest artwork and stuff like that, but word of mouth is the way to go. And the best way to do it, of course, is start with your family, start with your friends. Then once you make an impression, if you do this the right way, then you can then people who don't even know you. There were some people that I didn't know that night. They came up to me and was like, "You're doing great," you know. Like you don't have to know the person to trust in them to do something for you because legit the other day I asked a guy to a few months ago. I asked him to listen to something, and and then because I was friends with him on Facebook, I didn't message him, and um, he they return. Like he was like, "Yo, I have this discount ticket, but I want to give it to you because you haven't been to a show in a while," stuff like that. So it's such a give back community. So you have to make sure that for whatever project you're working on, whether it's like a social media active whatever it is online profile, or versus some accounting firm, you have to be creative and unique in the way you go, and you have to be surrounded by the people who share the same vision, because then for them, sharing and promoting you is not like a obligation. It's more like natural. I speak out for my friend because he's amazing and like he's really good. And even if I don't am not the guy who gets some weekly gigs or monthly gigs or something like that, I'm always sticking up for him. So like those are the people that whatever project you're working on, you gotta like have. And it'll take time to find them. You're gonna have some weird ships with some people you can meet along the way. But once you start finding the right people, then it just becomes so much more helpful. I think, because to kind of go off what happened in high school with me is that I started producing, and I was still working on it because I didn't know Logic, not the content wise. The content wise I was able to make very easily. I'm more of a content guy. I can think of ideas pretty well, but they in high school I wasn't able to get the technical aspect right, so nothing was released in high school except for mashups. And then when I went in college, even though I was a computer science major going into it, I was placed in a learning living community for musicians, and two of my roommates are now two of my closest confidants in terms of music. They're the ones who listen to it first, and they stuff that they check it to make sure that, then they give me their thoughts. They're not gonna always agree. There's one of the songs I did release, they said both of them said don't release it. I released it, and like we're gonna disagree, but like they tell me so much that they think from their perspective, and I kind of look on that, and then I kind of plan for the future, try to change this up. So you really have to like develop, and when it comes to their music, I support them all the way. One of my boys, Cyclops, that's a SoundCloud. He was one of the guys I met my freshman year, and his music, he's such a talented producer. Like he knows how to make so many different styles and such like that. Um, and he's developing his brand, and he has a YouTube. He has one of those YouTube how to make like a certain synth or certain instrument kind of channel now, and he's promoting himself and he's doing marketing really well. He hasn't been able to get a gig that I know of, so hopefully he's able to get more gigs. But um, he's my closest producer friend. He's the if I need something mixed and mastered, I go to him, and he's like, you don't have to pay. I don't have to pay, because he always is like, yeah, I'll do it. You're a friend of mine. And then next thing you know, I'll get it like a week later. I'll get the mastered version, and then it's either ready for release if it's an edit, or for any not mashups anymore, but for any other releases like musics or singles or releases, remixes or edits. Then he's got it. He has it for me. But yeah, like that's just the effect that you can have from like being the closest, like getting a very close circle. And I did my job at my radio station. I got because of close circle. My job at the promotion company that I work for, that was also because of inner circle. So it's not that you have to necessarily go up to everyone and say, "Hey, check out my playlist." Build a group of 4 or 5 guys that are just that. Hey, I want to, can you guys share this for me? Because you share the vision, and you share kind of what you're thinking and stuff like that. And they don't cost money. They won't ask for. I mean, they might, if it's a big post, then they might be like, "What do I get in return?" But to but for them it's natural. If it's regular, it's natural for them, and they're willing to do it. And those are people you know. It's not that I'm saying free marketing or free promotion, but I'm saying is that you have people that trust you, that you can trust enough, not just to help release music, but they'll give you feedback, honest feedback about, like, there won't be some stranger like, oh yeah, this was good, but these guys are gonna be like, no, these were some things I had an issue with, or I don't like this style, and then it's like, you can change this, or you can try this, or something like that. And even though, yeah, that might delay what you want and what your vision is, it's gonna help you build your taste better to take criticism, and the only people that are willing to do that is just your close circle. So that's definitely rule number one when it comes to marketing any project you do. Make sure you have a group circle of people that do it. Well, that's why a lot of events and a lot of clubs or whatever, associations, right? It's not just one person; it's a team. And even though they might be all different, they all have the same passion for one thing. And so that's why they have to collaborate, get criticism, and they have to host big events and stuff like that. It's harder when you're just one individual, but when you're when you're in a position where you can get confidence and can make a circle, that's definitely something you should get, because it's like basically working as a team, and have nine of you guys working on one, develop one thing, then just versus one, it's so much better. And then you do the same for them. It might be something very small or something kind of big, but be there for them, and then you develop not just a circle of trust for your project, but also just friendship in general. Um, so yeah, that's my rule number one for really marketing. I kind of went on a tangent there, but I tend to do that.
No, that's literally perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can. Yeah. But no, but that's literally what I wanted to try to segue into, was like, what is your experience in marketing, and how, like, I don't know, like, tips, and because like I don't know jack shit about it, and my podcast is like
Yeah.
very hobby esque.
Fair. So the thing about marketing nowadays is that spamming, of course, social media spamming is a no. Um, damn, that was my ankle. It cracked. um, Fact to the point. Social media is. I notice with a lot of things with music and stuff like that, the attention span of some people now are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Um, that's why a lot of artists, they don't end up releasing a lot of albums anymore. At least album creations are going down. Actually, you see less albums, is because people don't have the attention span to listen to an entire album. Like for Kendrick, of course, for his album, like, that's something. But there's a lot of like medium artists that are just like, I don't know the entire album, but I just know like one song. So you wasted another 11 songs, right? That that could have also been popular if they weren't so like cluttered by the really popular one. So, to that, as what I'm saying is that the general consumer has a very short sight, and doesn't have as long as they have kind of like a shorter memory, and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they're any way like deficient. It's just that that's just naturally how we're evolving, is that we have a shorter attention span. And so big projects, lengthy posts, unnecessary huge bios, uh, they can't read through that. So one thing that definitely is that keep it short and concise, because that way it's less of them reading how thankful you're for listening to the song, and more of them actually listening to the song. So that's one thing. So whether if you're DJing something, you don't have to post every 5 minutes for 5 days up leading to the event. You can just post once or twice in the week, like, hey, I'm doing this event. And if it's like a house party, like, yo, I'm doing this house party, lit. I'm doing some client event, then it's like, hey, I'm doing this event, and if you want to buy tickets, here it is. So definitely over spamming is an issue. Now, doing nothing, or close to nothing, is actually better than what it was recently, because when you get an absence, right, on social media, it's like a clear absence. Like, you don't even think of that person in your mind. It doesn't come up until you see something of them on social media, right? Pop up for the first time. And now, see how Facebook and like stuff like that are like, hey, this page has posted for the first time in a while, right? because since they're coming back after a while, it means something significant and important. So don't post a lot. In fact, if you kind of keep suspense with solid fans, they're gonna die for it and want it. That's how a lot of the EDM artists actually you hear their music beforehand, is because they play all these sets and they're recorded, and then people are able to download snippets of it and be like, oh, this is an unreleased song. Um, fuck. I was going with there. What was the last part? What was the last part talking about?
Like EDM snippets and.
Oh yeah. So EDM. So yeah, it's all what is it? Oh yeah, I remember. So the EM scene is all these snippets of like unreleased stuff, and you actually get, and it's without being intentional, it's kind of marketing for that artist who's playing this unreleased stuff, because they're sharing stuff to hype it up even before he's even like put on a poster or a release date or something like that. So that's one thing about the EM scene that is really cool, is that you can actually, and if you there's a site called 1001 track list. If you have any DJ set that's super popular, like some DJ at a festival, there's a good chance you might be able to find the track list and what he played on that, and and they'll send the links to the songs and stuff like that. But the thing is, with these things in place, you develop that following, you develop kind of that sense of suspense to allow it to kind of build up hype, and then really market yourself even without you posting anything. So I think definitely that's another thing. Obviously, you don't want to not post. Obviously, you definitely need to keep some sort of interaction, but definitely not an everyday post kind of thing, because then that gets kind of annoying. Um, the people who are on Instagram that I don't like to follow or I don't follow a lot of, is celebrities, because they post the most. They post like, photo every day or every few hours. Um, so those are the ones I don't, because, like, that's just too much. So I don't follow that many artists for the ones that I really love, but that's just so much to deal with. You have to keep it short, concise. Like for posting, I try to keep it. I used to switch a bit because of my mood, but one was like once a month, then like one was like once every other week. But now it's kind of getting to like once a month again. But like you don't have to overflow. It's that's how a lot of people get like likes. I noticed that the accounts that post every day get less likes to their follower ratio than if some decently attractive chick like posted something for the first time in like a month, and it's like her with a friend, that gets way more likes. It's just, you know you don't want to, you kind of want to hype it up more, even if it's not that big. You don't want to sell like false advertising. You want to be like, oh, this is the best song of all time, and then you release it, it's bad. But you want to definitely be able to hype it up in a smart, decisive way, not in a braggy, cocky way, just like in a smart, decisive way. Got to build up suspense for whatever you're posting, whatever you're, doing, whatever hobby, whatever career you're doing. Got to build suspense. You don't hand in a single sheet of work to your boss every day. You send a packet at the end of the week or something at the end of the week, and you say, "Here's the entire thing." They're way more excited for it because it's the entire thing. It's suspense. It's what's been going on. You know. So that's a huge thing of marketing. So don't overpost for sure. Um, 3 accounts you basically need to have for sure. It's a Facebook, Twitter, and an Instagram at this point. Even if you don't use Instagram that much, you don't have to post. That's like, again, like a once a month kind of a thing. Um, or whenever you release a podcast, if you release a podcast every month or something like that, then you can post on like just a few days before. It's like, hey, the new podcast is coming up, and you post on the day of the podcast coming up, like, hey, my new podcast is up. Um, then you know, then you can just like do that, but don't post every day on any of those on Instagram, stuff like that. But yeah. Uh, but yeah, don't. You definitely need those 3. If you're a musician, you should have a SoundCloud. I know how shitty it is now with all the copyright issues, but like, if you can get a SoundCloud, you can upload some stuff on there. Definitely do it. Um, and then, of course, more for like a career, keep a LinkedIn updated. That's super important. Um, One thing that you want to do is that, uh, when you're posting stuff, actually, you should, even though Instagram kind of stole this and Facebook is kind of stealing it now, post announcements about like your personal project in the stories because people don't want to be filled with your story, to them. So if you post it regularly as a regular post, whenever it comes out, then it's likely to get it's more likely to get less likes and less attraction than like regular posts. So definitely use the stories feature to post like any music coming up or shows coming up, and then your legit permanent posts are really cool things. Um, so use a story feature. I know Facebook copied it, but like come on, like it helps because people still get the details that they want without having to like or without having to have to see it on their timeline all the time. So that's where that is. But those things you definitely need to have. If you're more legitimate, definitely a website was good. Um, if you're like just some small little release you're doing, then maybe it doesn't have to be a website. But if you're like, oh, I'm starting like kind of like a small business kind of thing, you definitely need a website. Um, so that's definitely about something that you need. Um, one thing you need also is just you have to what is it? You have to be a listener. You think about posting as like, oh, you need to post all the time. You need to kind of be that kid person who speaks all the time. I don't say though. The good thing and reason I'm not doing this to brag, but the reason I'm more well-rounded than a lot of just like other people in general, or other DJs or whatever, is because instead of yapping how good I am, right, I'll actually listen. I will go to events and I will listen closely. I'll take notes. You think that that's kind of stupid, and why am I sitting there with like a notepad taking notes? You get these ideas. You get ideas for things to either recreate that feeling or to make something new off of it because you have an idea off of it. So being a listener is super important, and being a listener means just in general. I don't think snooping in, but when you're generally out in public, keep an ear out for anything interesting. Maybe there's some sort of event you hear overhead. Something like that. Like that small amount of data, it can change an entire story because you might hear an event. Oh, I want to do this on that night or something like that. So definitely being a listener. Um, just listen. You don't have to be creepy about it. Just be aware. Don't be the one yapping too much. Just be a listener. And being a quiet kid, I've been able to pick up a lot of things. And even though I kind of hold myself back, um, in a way, uh, it's just that I kind of know what to do and what not to do. There hasn't been any awkward situation I've been in, except for the one just happened just now. Did we explain that?
No.
Okay, I'll explain it.
Yes.
So I was coming to Boston College actually, and I was supposed to wine with the girl, like drink wine with the girl, and as I was like kind of going to Boston, she kind of messaged me like, oh, like what would we be doing, and like more questions kind of delaying, and so I was like, okay, you know what, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go to the Esplanade, take photos, and that's really it. So I did that instead. I get this message off Tinder. Some girl finally responded to me after a while, and she's like up to date and like basically is at the point where we're trying to find a place to meet up. So I ended up going to her dorm, and we ended up hooking up in the study room. And so so in the study room, and when I was taking all my stuff out of the pocket, I take my stuff out of my pockets before I hook up, just because I know it's more comfortable. Plus, it's easier to not remember things.
It's more comfortable.
It is like a girl doesn't want to be like feeling like, oh, what's this like really hard? Are you hurt? No, that's just my phone. Like, but point is that um I forgot to I left my keys in my sweatshirt, and I was still wearing my sweatshirt when we started. So me being like, oh, of course it's uncomfortable, I have to take it out. Instead of putting it on other stuff, I threw it on the ground. Um, and when I threw it on the ground, I kind of like lost track of it. It was in a dark room. We didn't have the light on for obvious reasons. Um, no, because like there wasn't like any windowsills, so if we were to put it on, then people would see everything. But basically, just like I threw it on the ground, I completely forgot about it. I left the building. I took an Uber back to my car, and when I was about to go to my car, I like tap my like my pockets and I feel them and I'm like, where's my keys? And I just realized my keys are back at that dorm. And considering how fucked up both of us were, she was probably passed out, and the only way I can contact her was through Tinder, which isn't something every girl checks all the time. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle, but luckily this guy was here. Stefan was here, and surprisingly, it was on the same street too. I Ubered back to Stefan, and then Stefan and I were just chilling, and then she responded, and I got my keys. But instead of going back home, I'm gonna do this. So I'm doing this. So, but that's the story. So fucked up. Almost had to stay in Boston with no way to get back home. And considering the fact that I have to still go back home, take a shower, spend time at home, and I'm heading to MIT in the afternoon. So, yeah, I was very much freaking it out for a bit. But yeah, that's what happened. But I have my keys now, so it's all good. Okay. Is there anything you want to talk about?
No, I think we should wrap up, but that's the life of a DJ, I guess.
Oh wait, no, I was only going to say about DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One thing that I want to get straight about DJing is that the equipment we use is not connected online, so it's not that we can just download a song and be ready to DJ. So people who say during a set, "Yo, do you have the song?" And I say, "No, I don't have it." It's not that I don't want to play it; it's that I physically don't have it. It's not offline, right?
Oh shit!
It's an offline file. Yeah, it's an offline file. So if you wanna, so the DJ has to be able to keep up to date the music. But there's so many songs out there; it's so hard to keep updated with, because especially since you try to buy reasonably with as much as you can because it's illegal and stuff like that. Um, and it's good, the best quality you can get it at. Like you just have to. There's just so much music to keep up with. So we don't have every single song. So to come up to me and then say, "Yo, can you YouTube to MP3 this in the middle of my set?" That's not happening. Because first off, I don't. First off, I don't even have Wi-Fi to begin with.
Fuck that, man.
Fuck that. I'll have Wi-Fi. Second off, like, I'm not gonna do all this effort and get distracted from actually DJing, and then I'm not gonna just like fucking, yeah. I don't do that shit, man. Like if I say I don't have it, it's not because I don't want to play it. It's mostly because of the fact that I just physically don't have the file. Now I do set up in a way so that you should keep, even though you're DJing from your controller, CDs, whatever you are, or whatever you want to call it, whatever button pads or whatever you want to say that you're DJing with, always have an aux available, because even though that sounds like very like fake and like recording shit, like you have to be prepared to do things that why may seem orthodox, while it may seem unorthodox, they help. So you should definitely be, when DJs they have an aux cord, they should have an aux cord. If not, they're usually doing it with the controller. And if they say we don't have that song, it's not because they don't like your suggestion or your request. It's just because we physically don't have the song. There'll be some times where I know the song and I have it listened to Spotify all the time, but I don't have the physical file, so I can't DJ it. Like that's a thing. So, but DJs should adapt by having an aux cord, and then people just have to understand like it's all offline. So we don't have every single song ever, but we'll do our best and give us multiple suggestions, because then we'll definitely have one thing that you can request. And I like to play my requests for sure. Like there's some DJs just like, oh yeah, I'll take your request, and then just like fuck off. I'm a guy that's like, I'll take the challenge and try to mix the song, no matter how out of the way it may be. Like I'm gonna give it a try. Like you gotta play. The point of a DJ is to do things for the client and for the crowd. So if you can do that, which is take requests, be reasonable, let people understand, what we can and cannot play, then it's just very easy. It's very easy to take care of all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm like definitely like starting to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's fucking late, so we're gonna call it a day. But thank you. That was really concise.
I think if I was sober, then I would be like, then I could actually say a lot more and be on track. But there's still a lot to talk. Like I could go on, but I'm not going to because I'm tired. So
Yeah, I mean, no, for sure, next time. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good look into life as a DJ and the obstacles you face and the marketing issues of it and the yeah. But yeah, do you have a plug? Like, how do people find you on SoundCloud? All the
Um, so if you want to find my SoundCloud, my personal stuff, it's at Saints, like a saint of a church, Saints of Valencia, and so that's like my personal stuff. Through there, you can probably find my link to Royal Prince. Um, is my DJ stuff. There's a mix up there, so you definitely check that out. On Instagram, it's Royal_Wadwa. You can definitely follow me in there. I don't post a lot on my as a permanent, but I do a lot of stories. Um, and then what was it on Facebook, Neil Wadwa, but that's kind of weird, so we're not doing that. Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't have any Facebook page. I have a Facebook page for Royal Prince, but it's not really active. But I should get it more active. Um, but yeah, that's like yeah, you can find me. Stefan's gonna put the links and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I mean, hit me up whether it's a house party or you just want to chill and Netflix. Then you know, hit me up. You know, worst comes to worst, I make a new contact and a new friend. You know, just like someone I know. Like that's someone I know exists because down the road they might do something for you that you don't expect. So.
Alright, okay, well that's it. Alright, we're peacing out. Thank you for listening.